Please let me go. Yay. All right, we are on. Let me turn that off. Okay, so welcome. It is 2.5. Can y'all believe we are already in week 5 of Pacesetters 2? Jessica, text Anne Marie, and you did. Okay, good. I was trying to think who else is like always on with us. So, y'all, first of all, thank you, Stacy and JPF and Rebecca and Lisa and Jessica for being on. It gives me energy to be on. I could just film a video and send y'all the stuff, but for you to be on and let me see your eyeballs and to get to just be with you, it makes my heart so happy. Y'all know I love to let you just share at the beginning real quick. How does it feel to cross the line again? Stacy?
It feels great.
Awesome. So tell me what adversity you had to overcome or something you learned. Like maybe what are you most proud of or what did you learn this week?
So I will say that, so I have booked some people the previous week and then of course I had cancellations. But something that I think helped this week was I did like an extra just call for people to call into.
Okay.
And just did like a short like a shorter video of just lips.
Okay.
And so I think that helped because maybe some of the people had already done that, but a lot of people were like, I mean, I think that's their thing this month, right?
Yes, you're so right. Yes, you're so right. I love it.
So
you just tried something new. The other thing I love that you shared, Stacy, was that you booked sooner and you booked more. Instead of scraping to try to get 5, you were in a little bit more of an abundant mindset. Would you agree with that?
Yes.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
That's exciting. Okay, Lisa, you go next. Tell us either what you're most proud of or what you're excited about, what you learned, any of that.
Yeah, so I did more numbers last week than the week before with a lot less results.
Yes.
And so I think I was just reminded that this is not a short-term game. This is like I keep wanting to say, this is a long con. Like this is a long-term thing. And so I know if I just keep doing the numbers, they're going to play out, right?
You're right. It's the long game.
Yeah.
I did a post today, which is so interesting. And I guess being on my health journey too, you guys, you know better than anybody. You can't eat one thing today and think you're going to weigh less tomorrow. I mean, your body doesn't do that. And honestly, I think what I eat today shows up in 3 or 4 days, really. You know what I mean? Like I did good today, so I want the scale to work tomorrow. And so when I went into starting a new health plan and a new lifestyle and all of that, I mentally had to be literally mentally, my finish line was day 90, not tomorrow. Like I expect 0 results until day 90. And that way it just kind of kept me from being so frustrated when the results didn't come. As somebody who is an achiever, we all are achievers. You know, that appeals to us about Mary Kay. And so just be mindful that you have to do the work. Yes, but sometimes the results, it's like taking one little snowflake at a time. Eventually, when you push the snowball, what happens? It'll go from this big to this big in one rotation. Does that make sense? But the little part, if you really start out small, it's like, God, it's not even working. Like we're never going to make a snowman. And you have that one time where you're like, oh my God, now it's too heavy to even pick up, right? Because the momentum catches you. Rebecca, tell me what you are most proud of or what you learned this week.
Well, I learned right the opposite of Stacy. I was like, man, she's got it together. I did not book enough the week before to make sure that I was more than set up for this week. So then I was trying to like make sure I got all my numbers in. But what I'm most proud of is 1, I did get my numbers in, but 2, I added another personal team member.
Yes, you're second.
I mean,
is it your second or third?
That's my second. And if we're being completely blunt, that's my 4th for the whole year.
That's awesome. It's okay.
So It's the boost of confidence,
Oh my gosh.
I think. And
So
so
exciting.
that's been the whole thing through all of this is it's forced me to have the accountability of getting on this call, but yet I know in the background that what I'm doing is working because I'm seeing the results from it.
I love that so much. I love that so much. She said more than set up. She didn't say I have 5 booked. She said I need to learn to be more than set up for next week. Y'all, I want y'all to wake up today, tomorrow, and the next day and forever. And I want you to mentally think, number 1, everything is figure outable. Number 2, how can I come from a place of abundance instead of lack? If I could do 15 faces this week, what is the first thing I would do today to reach that? That's coming from a place of abundance. Okay. All right. JPF, what is something you learned or that you're proud of this week?
Well, this week I was much like Anne-Marie last week. I was ready to take myself out of the group and be done. I was like, well, here we go. Like Sunday, and I was like, I'm done. Like, it's not happening. I was like, I need to text Anne-Marie and tell her I'm going to do it. And
Clicking, leave that group. Just be
I
mad
needed
about it.
somebody, and then I just had somebody say, hey, I got my package yesterday. I forgot to tell you. I was like, well, by George, why didn't you tell me? Like, I needed to do your face. What's your problem, people? But anyway, she got her package and we did her face, and it was all good.
Oh my gosh.
But
I love it.
but I
Y'all
did
gotta
set
learn how to
myself-
be a door knocker. Like, hey, so I'm gonna challenge. I got 4. I just need one more face. How you and your husband feel about getting a Mary Kay facial tonight? Anybody? Takers.
Well, John tells me I need to talk to the neighbors, and I'm like, and we're talking about it at church, how we're supposed to be praying for our neighbors and being a disciple, and then we're supposed to go introduce ourselves. And I was like, okay, Jesus, I got you. I'm supposed to pray for them and ask them if they need Mary Kay.
And sign them up. Okay. And see if they have $100. That's exciting. Okay. Who's next? Let's do Huggins.
Well, my goal for the week is 10 faces, 10 interviews. So I was trying to push myself to a new crease, and I am learning where I'm lacking in my week. And so what I'm loving is the consistency, but yet the growth to get the bigger mindset. So I think, I told the girls in our breakout room last night, I was like, well, I sucked in this area, but I did really well in this area. And I think it's just a constant, I'm really trying to take on the mindset of how I am as a teacher and as an educator into my business, because I want to put into my future what I put in for someone else in their organization. And I want to put more into that. And so I'm really trying to look at how do I take on this and look at it and be detailed and be oriented, task oriented, and, encourage this kid. And I'm trying to move that over into my business because I know God's gifted me with that. But so this consistency is bringing belief to do other things to continue to set up my organization and my family's dreams and goals.
Okay.
So I looked into new insurance, and, I've looked into how we're going to, what we're going to do with my check from last month and what I want to do versus what's going to set up
Yes.
for my family, and our goals are 2 totally different
Yes.
things. So I'm learning that it's not just the 5 faces and the 5 interviews, it's the big picture. And my husband constantly is asking me, what's the big picture?
Right.
And what's the big picture? And
So good.
this right here has created a consistent mindset,
Mm-hmm.
which I don't know, I've always been I want to be consistent. But this has like really forced me to like, okay, now I'm being consistent with this. How can I grow? Like, how can I push myself?
Right.
And so I don't feel like I'm competing with anybody else except for
Yes.
myself.
That's really big. One thing I was going to say was you said the consistency is bringing belief. You guys, consistency is action. Action raises your confidence, and the confidence is what raises your belief. So she's right that consistency increases belief. It's a dead on parallel. The reason that this is working is because it creates a place of accountability for you. Meaning, if you don't do it, there are repercussions. Not negative repercussions, only positive. If you do it, you get to stay in the group. If not, then you don't get to participate next week in the training or in the group or whatever. And so what happens is the longer you do it, the longer you want to, right? And so I might have to do this forever. I'm so excited. I'm so excited for forever. Emery, what did you learn or how did you grow this week?
I finished my 5 a little bit earlier and kind of what Rebecca
Before
said.
11:40?
Yeah,
Woohoo!
it was 9:15.
Nice.
So that's good.
That is good.
And well, like Rebecca, just kind of were like, okay, we got to set up earlier in the week. And so we went ahead and put a goal of finishing 5 by Wednesday, our 5 by Wednesday. And then the rest is, is extra. She's working on bigger numbers right now. But so that, and I also might have been right after Sunday, but kind of just, I had the realization that I'm thinking too far ahead. So and you talked to me about that before. I can't worry about, is she going to be good or what's she going to do or whatever? Cause I do get hung up in that, like, well, is she really ready for this? Like looking at her life, does she already have too much going on? I'm like, nope. I'm 30. That's it. It's $30. We'll talk about everything else after. I am just going to push you until that moment. And then the rest will take care of itself.
That's big
So-
for you. That's really,
Yeah.
really good. That's a great breakthrough. So exciting, actually. That's really good. Chase Powell, what about you? What are you most proud of, or how did you grow? What did you learn in pushing through to finish?
So I'll let y'all see my face, but I'm not cute yet. I will be, but I'm not yet. Okay, so I learned that evenings are a lot more fun when you're making money. So I did.
That's like the mantra at the strip club. Evenings are more
That's
fun when
probably
you making
true.
money, honey.
Hey, well, with Mary Kay, you can make money like strippers without it being
That's right.
that. So,
I always say, but it's
Great.
morally, wonderful. Mary Kay is it doesn't question
Yeah.
your morals.
yep, that's right. That's right. It's God first, family second, career third. It's
That's
awesome.
right.
Oh my gosh, that was my laptop. Just hit my concrete floor. So exciting. Okay, so I had really gotten away from doing in-person parties, and I had a customer who I booked an in-person party with 2 Fridays ago, and I was like, I really don't want to go do this. Like, I love virtual. Like, it's a Friday night. I don't really want to go do this. Got there. It was like one of the most fun parties I've ever done. Sold $650. I was all excited, right? So then I was like, well, I'm going to book a party every Friday night. Why would I not do that? This is
Parties on
fun.
Friday nights were my favorite of my career. Friday nights and
They're
Sunday afternoons.
so-
They're the best.
Yeah. So,
And
This
they all get
past
paid on
Friday-
Fridays. So it's like
Oh,
extra fun.
so this past Friday, we got, I had another party. It was a $904 party. And then this coming Friday, I don't have anything booked, but I'm like, I'm supposed to keep Sarah Grace this weekend. So I'm like, she gonna be at my house, but I can do a Zoom party. Like, I'm like, why would I not? Like, normally on a Friday night, I'm sitting in my recliner, drinking a glass of wine, watching Netflix. Like, I mean, I could go and like make some money. you know what I mean?
Can.
So-
Chase, $900 is so awesome. Y'all, we can't forget to just we can be virtual. Okay. We can be virtual, but keep a little bit of some face-to-face, or if you're all face-to-face, keep a little bit of virtual, because it'll keep you sharp as you lead people who want to do the one that you're not doing. It just keeps you sharp. Remember, iron sharpens iron. Okay. All right. So today, you guys, we're going to do a little different. I'm not going to share a video with y'all every single week, but you're getting a video again this week. And I know I did a video with y'all last week, but it's so good. Have y'all ever seen the movie Coach Carter? Okay. I'm all about inspirational movies. So if you've never seen it, you've got to watch the movie Coach Carter. It's so good. All right, here we go. So what happened was they're shutting the football program down at this school. The kids are in the hood. They're amazing athletes, but they won't do their schoolwork. Okay. So they literally came in and put a chain lock on the door, and coach left. You don't have a team to coach. They can't get their grades up. He's tried, he's begged, he's asked them. So watch.
That's what it seems to be. Think about it. Started the East West Coast beat. Talk.
They're in the gym helping each other with
So they can cut the chain off the door, but they can't make us play.
We've decided we're gonna finish what you started, sir.
Yeah, so leave us be, coach. We got shit to do, sir. Our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, that most frightens us. Your playing small does not serve the world. There is nothing enlightened about shrinking so that other people won't feel insecure around you. We were all meant to shine as children do. It's not just in some of us, it's in everyone. And as we let our own light shine, we unconsciously give other people permission to do the same. As we are liberated from our own fear, our presence automatically liberates others. Sir, I just want to say thank you. You saved my life.
Thank you, sirs. All of you.
Okay, tell me one little phrase that you heard when you watched that, phrase that stood out.
Holly,
Yes.
your shrinking small does not serve you or others. Something like that.
Thinking doesn't serve you or anybody else. Anybody else? Rebecca.
I
I
wrote
wrote,
down, oh, sorry. Go ahead, Rebecca.
Your playing small doesn't strengthen the world.
Mhm. Jessica.
I put powerful beyond measure, and our presence liberates others.
Okay, Chase, you're unmuted.
I was just thinking about the whole time, just about like how he was talking about, I don't remember the exact words, but it was him talking about like the light does not dim anybody else's light kind of thing.
Yes. One thing I think that we can feel at times, you guys, is that our success or failure affects everybody else around us. But what I want you to comprehend in your brain, that's what we've always been taught. Okay. But the reality is, number one, because you are successful or not, doesn't take success away from someone else. But and we can think that because we think of life as Americans, as humans, as people, that everything is a give and take. If I eat the potato chips, there's no potato chips for my brother. If I have a mediocre mindset or I have a mindset of scarcity. Okay. If I lose weight, she'll still be heavy and that'll make her feel bad about her body. If I shine too bright, My parents will look at me instead of appreciating what's great about my sibling. If I can shrink back a little and not be too good, maybe I won't be noticed too much. I can't be too successful because my parents say that rich people are mean and greedy. I can't be wealthy because rich people are ... If I become wealthy, I'll be like those people that my parents taught me to hate growing up, right? And so what you have to understand is there is enough abundance to go around. We can think for a second that there's only so many women in a community. Y'all, Mary Kay has been around almost 60 years. We're going to go into year 60. This seminar will be about to start our 60th year. Have we run out of women yet? No. And we're never gonna. We're never gonna run out of girls. Why? Because Carissa gets another year older. And your daughters, your little AC gets another year older. Camilla gets another year older, right? So what happens is one day we wake up and we've been in Mary Kay 20 years, which means when we started, all the little girls that were 10, they're 20, 30, 40 years old, right? And we go, oh my gosh, wait a minute. But we forget baby girls are born every 6 seconds. And so we've got to come into our days from a place of abundance and magnificence and wondering what it is that God's going to do next. What blessing, literally, y'all, this is 50 ounces. When I stick a straw in it or I sit 4 bottles of water out, it's almost the same content, but this feels way less to me than 4 bottles of water. It looks like a lot to have to drink, but this I get through 2 a day. And it's like, oh, I'm almost done with my water. Because it's all in one place and I can see how much I have left to go. So this creates a mindset for me of you can do it. So what do you have to do in your own life in that little moment when you're like, oh, that's a lot of water, Holly. I used to take all 6 bottles and I would write a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 on the top of the bottles. And I would keep the caps in my pocket when I first started my journey. So I could be proud of you. You've already done 2. Good job. Now you don't have to worry about 4, 5, and 6, just number 3. Next is number 3 bottle. That's it, just number 3. And Marie, all you have to worry about right now, today, in this moment, you don't have to worry if she's going to be great, suck, invest in inventory, buy inventory, not buy inventory. She just got to make a $30 decision. Once she does that, then all I have to do with her next is book her debut party and decide on product. And then all I have to do next with her is help her get a guest list. You see, we don't have to go through all of the possibilities with every person. Some people are never going to cross the bridge. So we don't have to spend any emotional energy at the bridge with them, right? I'm going to screen share this with y'all. Feel free to take a picture. I already posted it in the group for you. Our deepest fear is not that we're inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, that most frightens us. We ask ourselves, who am I to be brilliant and gorgeous and talented and fabulous? Actually, who are you not to be? One thing that they talked about in the video was about shining, that when you allow your fears to be relinquished, okay, and you do it anyway and you move forward, when you are liberated, use the word liberated. I want you to think of a prisoner back in like Paul's day. Their legs were chained and so were their arms. And I just think of them being stretched. When they're liberated, what happens? Jessica?
I mean, they're like free. I mean,
They're free.
They're not bound by shackles anymore.
They're no longer bound. And so you guys, what happens is those limitations and fears, what we do to ourselves is we walk back to the corner and cuff ourselves back to the corner. The minute that we allow ourselves to get liberated, we'll go put the cuff back on. Prisoners are terrified of release day. They have learned how to operate in the prison. The prison makes sense. They learn to survive there and live there for years and years and years. The outside, the liberation and the freedom, that feels scary because there's no accountability. There's no one making sure they go to bed at the right time. And so sometimes you will put yourself back in the prison, whatever that word is. What am I trying to say? Something speaking like, what is it, Emery? What am I trying to say? Not poetically speaking, but it's like an analogy, whatever the word I'm looking for is. What is it? You know it.
Figurative.
Yeah, thank you. Figuratively speaking, you put yourself back in prison because that's what's safe. Struggling with finances is what happened when you were little. That is safe to you. That's prison. Do y'all understand what I'm saying? And so notice the places where you purposely, little children who experienced a lot of trauma, drama, sexual abuse, anything that was like crazy and unheard of, and drug labs in their house and all of that. As adults, they stir drama because it's all they knew. Everybody came in and screamed at each other at family dinner. So like, if she gets married to this great family, she'll like pick an argument with the husband's mom just because that's her prison. What's your prison? What is it that holds you captive? Mentally, where do you go put the cuff back on yourself? Because you guys, as you are liberated and you walk out, what happens then as you begin to learn to live with an abundance mentality, you don't mean to be a light. You just are. I mean, I've been online forever, like a long time. But I'm so healed post 2018 and 19 being online. I've watched God liberate me literally from the prison. And so I don't have to think, what can I post that will get a lot of comments? I just be who I am. And if it works, great. If it don't, great, because that's not what I care. I don't care about that. I care about helping women be better at who they are and loving themselves. That's what I care about. I want them to know how to fix their hair. I want them to know how to find jeans that make their butt look good because it'll make them feel better about themselves. And so as we learn to release and be, liberated, we give other people permission around us to let their light shine also. So this week, the way that you do that is you lean into your maker. You pray for God to reveal to you the places where you feel safe chained. Because God did not create us to be chained. He got on the cross so we didn't have to. We know this. He took our sin, all the things that we should be persecuted for. He took our place. We should all be in prison for the stuff that we do as believers. But he took our place, meaning he needed you to be liberated because you're forgiven. You can wake up every day knowing that, hey, I royally screwed up yesterday, but it don't matter. Today I get a fresh start. I'm liberated. So every day, you guys, every time that you go chain yourself again, he takes the thing off. As soon as you click it on, he unlocks it again. And then you'll scoot away a little bit and then a little more. And then you get afraid. You have your highest check. You lose 3 pounds. And what do? Do y'all know when I started my journey with my health, every time I would have a big drop on the scale, the next day I would binge all day. Why would someone do that? Why would I do that? Why? Why would you do that to yourself? Why would you finally get what you want and then torture yourself for getting it? And then my scale would go back up because I don't feel vulnerable at that number. It makes me nervous. It made me uncomfortable. I was comfortable here. This number, that's who I've been for a long time in prison. And then you get out of jail and it's like, I don't know how I'm supposed to feel about this. You become a new director. I don't know how I'm supposed to feel about this. You get your highest check. You earn your first car. You finish something big. You finish your first 5 and you're like, oh God, now I'm going to do it again. How am I going to do this again? Y'all, you're asking me how to do 5 faces. Do y'all hear me? Mary Kay Ash held 3 parties a day of 15 people. A day, 5 days a week, 45 faces a day when she sold vacuum cleaners, Stanley Home Products, and like wipies. What? Like what is that? But what happens is we're in isolation. We've been in isolation, literally in the prison, alone with nothing but our thoughts for 2 years. Y'all, March is 2 years. And all that dream big stuff and all that excited about being a national and I'm winning a pink Cadillac, you got locked in isolation and Satan took your thoughts captive. And he said, no, you can't. You should be afraid. You should fear for your life. Run for your life, right? Go back to jail. It's safe in there, right? No, I just want to be in isolation by myself. We really don't. Do y'all know that even if you're an introvert, we're not meant to be alone. We're meant to be with people. We're still, even if you're an introvert, you just need to go be alone after to refuel yourself. But we thrive. Why is there a thing called a family? Y'all, animals in the wild have babies and leave them. That's not what God designed human life to be. Why did Adam get married? He didn't get married. God made him a wife. That's what I meant to say, Emery. I'm sorry I said that wrong. Why did Adam get a wife? Because he needed companionship. So the more you will connect with people, with your consultants, with your customers, with your team members, pick up the phone and call one of your customers one day and say, you know what, girl, I was just thinking about you today. I'm sending up a prayer for you today. I just want you to know I really care about you. And I appreciate the patronage that you have given my business for the last few years. I just wanted you to hear my voice and let you know how much I appreciate you. You will unapologetically shine light. Y'all praying over these families with Christmas cards every day. You would not believe, Kristen Sharp picked up the phone and left me like a 5-minute message. Like, you have no idea what that meant to me. I sent her a picture of her Christmas card laying on my Bible. And I just laid my hand over it and I looked at all their little faces. And I prayed over them. Every day I pick a different one to pray over. And then when I'm done, I toss it and I'll wait on my Christmas cards next year. It makes me want to mail Christmas cards. But what am I saying? Number one, I want y'all to be aware of the chain. Be aware. I had to be aware that I didn't even know I was self-sabotaging like that, you guys. I'm like, oh my gosh. But I looked at my chart. I'd be like, drop, oops, drop, oops, drop, oops on the scale every time, every single time for 90 days. I'm like, I'm purposely sabotaging the journey because I feel safer in the struggle than in the maintenance. Can you imagine your maintenance life being easy? Can you imagine that eating healthy things were easy for you, that exercise was easy and carefree, that when you swipe your debit card, it's easy and carefree, that you're 1099 looking at it and all of the abundance in your bank account, that there's no stress every month ever for you financially, that you can live a blessed, incredibly blessed, abundant life. Did you ever consider that it wasn't meant to be hard? Just because there were seasons that were hard does not mean that's where you're supposed to stay. When people commit the crime and do the time, they serve the time so they can be liberated. If you learned the lesson, let yourself be free. Quit going back to jail and serving time for the thing you already figured out. You already served your time. You figured it out. You made the mistake with credit card debt. I did. But guess what now? I don't apply for credit cards. I learned the lesson. Now, granted, you still got to pay for it, right? You still got to pay for your mistake. You still got to get out of it, and you will. I did. But I know the lesson now. Matt and I the other day went and looked at a truck. Why? Because he was bored. And he's tired of his truck being dirty. He don't need a truck. He drives to the other end of town and back every day. That's the only place he goes. He has an amazing vehicle. And I was like, why you need a truck? Because we haven't bought anything in a while. And because financially, we can like that tightness because that's how we were raised. But we're in a place of abundance now. So what do? I need to go buy something big again. Because the tightness feeling feels normal instead of abundance and overflow. And gosh, I always have more money. I always have way more money than I need every month. I'll never forget Lisa Allison saying that. It was my first NSD summit, and I was like, can you say that again? I never in my life, not my parents, not my I had never heard a human being say that in my life. She said, Mary Kay pays me so much money, I don't even know what to do with all of it. And I thought, I'm putting that in my affirmation. Seriously. Like, oh, it's payday again? Huh. I had lived life waiting on a payday, right? Waiting to get groceries. More month than money. Because that's where I would go chain. I would get a great paycheck, and what would I do with it? Go blow it. Go buy something that was unnecessary that my family never needed. Because that's what you do. You might not get it again, so you better go. America and their tax returns, classic. Like, just keep it. Just save it for retirement. Just put it away for a rainy day. You don't have to go blow it because you're never going to have it again, which is what I had to learn with food. If I ever went to a buffet, I thought I had to eat till I puked. I mean, I would get another meal, but mentally indulge because there's never enough. Indulge because there's never enough. Indulge because there's never enough. There's another buffet on the way home. If I got hungry again, I mean, I can stop again, but I can stop when I'm full. I don't have to just keep on and keep on and keep on. I mean, literally, like I did it at Sue's dinner. It was the best salmon ever. And I went and got another whole plate of food. Because I thought, if I'm doing it, I'm doing it, baby. I mean, I ate 3 bites of cake. I was just like, I left like, I might put my finger down my throat now. I mean, I'm going to puke right here. I was so sick. I mean, it was good broccoli, but it wasn't that good. And some salmon. Y'all, it's dumb. But we adopt this mindset of, I'm going to do it. But it's rooted. It looks like abundance, but it's rooted in lack. So just be aware of that. Okay, share your takeaways with me today. Congratulations for being on. I love this intimate time with y'all. I really pray over what God has for me to share with y'all. So I hope y'all will keep doing your faces. JPF, I'm not sure what your eyebrows up mean, but I would love for you to share. What you thinking?
Well, I'm over here trying to squeeze my butt cheeks to not cry.
Oh, good. So tell me why.
Because our dryer went out on Sunday. Mm-hmm. And I was always raised on, we don't have the money for that. And so my dad came over, see if he could fix it, whatever. We've had this dryer, like it was John's grandpa's and it was gifted to us. So it's not even ours, you know? And my dad tried to fix it. Of course, that's what they do, you know, and it wasn't fixable. And so I was like, okay, we got to go look. And I did go shop around, you know, because I'm one of those.
You should be smart
Yesterday, we went out and bought a whole new set, washer and dryer. Like, we didn't even need a washer, y'all. But we went and bought it. And my mom came over and kept the kids so they could go get it. And I was at my meeting and all this stuff. And my dad said, that thing's got dash lights on it. It's so fancy. I don't know what to do with it. Like, it's so... But I lived in that mentality of we don't have the money for it. And whenever you were talking about, Matt was like, we've got to buy something, like, you know, the Lowe's, they offered us, hey, apply for the credit card and you save so much. And I looked at John and I said, we got the money in the bank. Let's just pay for it and be done.
Right.
Like, that's it. You know, and so I don't know how to work it, but I do know it's got the little drawer for the Tide Pods, and that makes me
You are so
excited.
excited.
That's the one I wanted because it had the drawer for the Tide Pod after they were out of the rose gold.
Listen, my
But, you know.
refrigerator was purchased because it had a cheese drawer. I'm like, I have to have a spot for the cheese. Everybody needs a spot for cheese in your fridge. Like, what? But you know what, Jessica? I'm so proud of you for sharing that. It's such a breakthrough moment, you guys. And every time you look at that dryer, you need to put an affirmation on it and put words to the story. Write a sentence. We always have more than enough to provide what our family needs. Like, just write it, girl. I mean, that is so exciting. Like, so exciting.
I mean, whenever, you know, it's your birthday, that's what you buy yourself. for
That's
your
right.
birthday.
It's your
Walking
birthday.
through Lowe's, John's like, I need that compressor. I said, it's not your birthday till June. You'll get it in June.
I'm getting a washer and dryer. Is your birthday the 16th? 15th. Okay. Got it. That's fun. Okay. Share your takeaway, Jessica.
Well, this kind of goes along with my breakthrough I had at church on Sunday. And oh my goodness. But I went and talked yesterday to one of the kids I was helping, and he was like so excited about his mom getting this promotion. And she's in pharmaceutical sales, and I have just really formed a relationship with this little boy. And he said, I know that you had an assistant. And he was like, and I paid attention to that. And he said, my mom needs help finding an assistant. And he was like, you know, I went out and talked to his mom, and, you know, for like 5 seconds, it was like, oh, I could be the assistant. It's that constant, like, it's like my pastor said, you think everybody else deserves it except for you, or that you don't have something that he, you know, has for you. And that's a sin. And I think that since I've heard that, like the unbelief and the doubt is a sin, that it just like every time it's like popped in my head, I'm like, this is no different than the person who's struggling with alcohol, or the person who's lusting, or the person who's dealing with, you know, this is the exact same thing. And so it's just that mindset of, I see it, something good happens, and then I'm like, oh, that's not going to happen again. I'm going to have to work 50 times harder for that to happen again. And so I just know that the Lord is preparing me and to go to the next level and to level up. I'm having to grow in my faith walk,
For sure.
and in my relationship with Christ, to know that, like, yeah, you're right. You will have to work 50 times harder to get that. But like, he can do immeasurably more and abundantly more than you ever ask or think. And that was something that the pastor said on Sunday, is he said, when I think it was Peter. Yeah, when Peter dropped the nets and he told him they were fishing, and he put out his nets, plural, first. And Jesus told him to cast out on the other side. He put a net. He put one. He didn't put multiple nets. And so this whole thought process of what you're talking about is just like, I have been so aware of, like, oh my goodness, that is what's holding you back. Stop. Like, that is what.
See, it's what Satan's used to take you back to the corner and chain you back up. And you're like, God, I could be her assistant. I could have flexibility. And you go into that and you're like, no. But it's
like,
what
no,
Satan's
he's coming
used.
to me asking me how to hire the assistant. And it's like,
right.
It's been, you know, I know going back in the classroom has been, but I also think that it was part of God's plan.
Absolutely.
Like definitely, because I have learned so many lessons in what he's teaching me and through these kids that he's teaching me, and just what I have seen, I've learned from Mary Kay to be put into the other side of my life has been like, wow, if I give that up, if I don't have that, then I'm really giving up what God has for me. And so thank you. I love that movie. That is like one of my all-time favorite movies. And it is unreal that our mind is our biggest.
We are our own biggest enemy. We think it was, our dad who was abusive, or our brother who did drugs, or our grandpa who abused us. Nope, it's our head. It's us. We're our own worst enemy. Thank you for sharing, Jessica. Are y'all praying? Add this to your quiet time and affirmation if you don't. One thing that I've been writing every day is I have an abundance of joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, gentleness, right? I have an abundance of time. I have an abundance of energy. I have an abundance of faith. Because it's fueling through my body, I have enough to give away. And so, y'all, I don't feel exhausted. I don't feel like, I don't have enough time. I can't get anything done. I can't get anything done. I'm so sorry I didn't call you back because I had 42 other things. I just simply say, hey, girl, I'm in appointments today, so it'll be tomorrow, but I'll touch base with you then. So instead of living frantic, the other thing is, are you speaking 15, 20, 30 faces a week over your business that will feel easy for you? Or have you decided it's going to feel hard? Because whichever you choose and speak is what you'll get. Stacy, what's your takeaway today?
So I wrote down, when we're liberated, we allow others to let their light shine too. And then kind of, Jessica, what you were saying, I guess when we were talking about this, I was trying to figure out what is my prison, because I don't know that, but I think that mine is, I love doing virtual. That is my jam. I can get online and I'm so calm and can just do it and talk and laugh. And I have a girl and her friend coming tomorrow, and I was trying to find another space other than my home. Y'all, I'm not even going to lie. My Christmas tree is sitting right here in my living room, okay? Everything's off of it, but it ain't outside. Okay?
Just tell them you're starting the forest for something. Like, we're just doing decorations for the next thing. It's okay. My Christmas flag was still up. I'm like, why do I not take it down?
My house is crazy all the time because we have 5 people in a small house, and I feel like we just don't have enough room.
But just don't apologize. Like, don't say anything about it. Like, don't say, oh my gosh, y'all overlooked my house. Don't apologize. They're coming to your house because they don't want you to come to theirs. You know this, right?
Right.
That's right. So, but don't apologize. Like, don't apologize. Like, just show up and you make it about them, not about you or your messy house. Like, you make it about them. This is about them. And the minute you want to say, oh, excuse this, step over that, it's like, I'm making it about them. I'm going to make it about them. But you got this. You're going to have fun doing it in person. Rebecca, what about you? What's your takeaway?
I wrote in all caps that there is enough abundance to go around. And it's so funny that Jessica's pastor preached on what he preached on, because ours preached on faith and having abundance faith in regards of 3 different times in the Bible. Like, Moses had faith, and imagine the faith that it took Noah to build the ark when they were in a drought. And God just said, hey, build this big old boat.
And everybody's making fun of you. Like, you are the stupidest human on the planet. What are you doing? Not one person. Every person. Like, all of them.
Then he was like, or you can have mediocre faith. And you even said mediocre today. And I was like, mediocre faith. Or he said, you have no faith. And he said, think about John when they were on the boat and it was storming and he walked up to Jesus and was like, are you even him? Or can you even do anything? Because you're back here sleeping. And he said, how many times, more times than not in our life, we're John. And it was just you talking about having the abundance and that there is enough to go around, because I'm that person that's like, how in the heck did you sell that much product? Like, what are you doing? I mean, I can't find people like that. But there are enough women out there who will buy that much product. And thank God I'm working on Friday nights.
Friday's payday, baby. They'll come and hang out. I love
I don't
Friday.
want to work on Friday nights, but I am.
Oh, I'm proud of you. Friday's the best night ever. I love Friday night parties. Okay, Anne-Marie, share your takeaway. What fabulous earrings you have on. Gosh, you have an amazing designer.
Thank you. Yes, I do. I think really the biggest thing was when you said, talking about the money, and that's my comfort zone. I mean, we kind of talked about it in different ways before, but anyway, it just, I don't know. I can't remember now exactly how you said it, but it was something about putting the chains back. So I'm like,
Well, if you get too financially comfortable, you have to keep the struggle. You have to stay in the struggle. And you go back and think, gosh, I can't get too wealthy. My parents talked about those rich people, All right, Chase, what about you? Share your takeaway and we'll hop off, you guys.
Mary Kay pays me more money than I know what to do with. I wrote that. I made like a whole paper that says that.
Can you imagine at your interview saying that to somebody? They'd be like, can I sign up? I want to sign up. I want to be like you. Can I be like you, Chase? I want to sell $900 at a party that takes 2 hours, please.
It's insane. I was also raised kind of like you, JPF, like where, like if you had to go buy a dryer, you had to put it on a credit card. You know what I mean? Like we didn't have that extra, just $1,000 laying around to go buy a washing machine. Like if you had $1,000 extra laying around, it was so that you could pay for groceries when you didn't have the money in the bank to pay for groceries. You know what I mean? And so I have really had to learn that myself. Like just because I have, also like for me, just because I got paid $2,500 for my paycheck does not mean I have to go. I don't know if that's how much I got paid.
$2,500.
I'm just coming up with a number. It was like an example, but I'm just saying like, just because I got paid this amount of money does not mean I have to go blow it all, because like for me, I remember getting my first commission check at Mary Kay that was like a sizable amount. It was like $800. I'm like, here's money for you. Here's money for you. Because I love gifting people.
I'm paying for all the food in the line today. Like, woo! Yeah, I know.
Yep. I handed Matthew like $300 in cash to go buy a new pair of boots. Like, got $800 don't go as far as you thought it would,
Yeah, that's right. It's like, well, shoot, I didn't even get no shoes. Like, I didn't buy everybody else stuff. That's fun.
Yep.
Y'all, thank you, Jessica. Thank you, JPF, Anne-Marie, Rebecca, Stacy, Chase. Thank y'all for staying on today. I hope you feel blessed by being on and by pushing and finishing. It matters that you're here. I love seeing your faces every week, and I'll see y'all next Tuesday. Do it again. Bye. Y'all have a great week. See ya.